Hey guys, what's going on? Back again with another Vanguard Zombies video. As you guys know, yesterday Call of Duty Treyarch and Sledgehammer released an update for Vanguard and Vanguard Zombies and Dara and Fang Zombies. So I just want to go over my initial thoughts about the update, and it's kind of in conjunction with 115 Day, the day that we celebrate zombies in Treyarch and Call of Duty's history on January 15th. So they kind of did the update around the same time as 115 Day. So the update, like I said, went out yesterday. I think about maybe late afternoon. I played about 4 hours of it last night, like I usually do. I usually kind of do a minimum of like 3, 4 hours. Sometimes I think I went up to like 6 hours one night. Really just to grind operators and camos. So in the update yesterday, the first thing that I want to talk about before I forget, because sometimes I honestly do that. I talk for like 15 minutes. I'm like, wait, I totally missed talking about what I wanted to talk about in the first place. So the first thing it reminded me of, which I think is a good thing, it's kind of reminded me of a little bit now of our own little kind of like a Warzone battle royale map. Whereas if you guys did the Easter egg, and this is going to be major spoilers just in case if you're not interested. Um, so when you do the Easter egg, you find out at the end that we're getting a new field upgrade, a new Dark Ether entity that's coming to help us. I think like Nordicus and Kraft decided to, get help from the Dark Ether, get some new entities to help us in the form, I guess, like I said, of a new field upgrade. So it reminds me of like when we get new operators for Warzone. There's a whole new cutscene, a new narrative that goes on, and then in the new season it introduces the new operator that comes. Like before, it was like Naga and then Stitch, and Mason or Alex Mason or Mason that comes. We get new operators like Katsune, I think was a new one for one of the seasons. So kind of it's cool that they're almost following the same trend, like I said, and it's kind of no surprise that eventually maybe that's what Activision wanted to do is kind of model everything after Warzone, and like we mentioned, kind of keep it all, um, you know, the same within all the different modes. Have it a little bit similar. Where if you like the style of new operators coming to multiplayer in Warzone, then you'll like it in Zombies, where now we get introduced. So you have to wait for the new season to see what like operator, I guess technically, or entity, Dark Ether entity is coming to help us. So that's the one thing that I got from this yesterday that I really, really liked. I'm like, oh wow, now it makes it very suspenseful. That now it's kind of like in, like I said, like in Warzone with Cold War and Warzone in Modern Warfare. That now it's just like a cliffhanger. Now waiting to see who the operator is and what it looks like. I think we got a name, but I can't remember right now. And I posted the full Easter egg cutscenes and audio. So if you want to listen to it, I'll kind of link it. But like I said, it's pretty cool. That's where we're at now. We're kind of on a cliffhanger, waiting for season two, or maybe season two reloaded to see who the new Death Ether entity is. People have some speculations that it might be, some of the old field upgrades from the last game, like Toxic Growth, or some of the healing aura and stuff like that. Something that's green, that has like a green theme to it. I'm thinking my guess would probably be like Toxic, and it's a female because they mention a female, and then if you go into Shino Numa, you can see her hands are popping out of the portals and stuff like that. So that is the one thing that I got really excited about, and the one thing that I want to talk about first is, again, it's pretty cool that's left on a cliffhanger, kind of like again Warzone and multiplayer, that we get to see who the new operator is going to be that's going to help us. I don't know if we're going to get our own cutscenes. That would be kind of cool, like how they do in Warzone and multiplayer. So that's, again, one thing I'm very excited about. As far as the actual Easter egg itself, it's pretty cool. It does always and is always reminding me of, Spec Ops, how you go and you do some waves of enemies, and then you can kind of restock and kind of get new guns, get new kill streaks, get new support streaks and stuff like that, or tacticals and lethal weapons and equipment. So that's the other thing that I thought was really cool. I like the way they do it because it's kind of like a throwback to, again, Spec Ops, where you just kind of kill waves of enemies and stuff like that. Um, I wonder if they do drop weapons too, so that's the other cool thing too that reminded me of Spec Ops, that um, some of the heavy enemies drop weapons, and I thought that was really cool. So again, those are the two things, and this is a new area here, so it's kind of like spoilers. I don't know how much into it I'm gonna go in this scene, because this is the footage from yesterday, from when I streamed for about 4 hours. So it does seem like the zombies got a little bit of a buff, so that's kind of cool. Being that there's a lot new stuff that they added, so it's kind of balancing where you're getting some new stuff, but then they tweaked the zombies slightly. It seemed like, to be a little bit stronger and faster. So the only other thing too is the rounds are still kind of tough. Like I said, when you're getting to round 20, it's getting there pretty tough. And the tough part is, and it's the same thing with multiplayer. And I'm gonna go off on a little bit of a topic. If you're not a multiplayer person or a Warzone person, when you're grinding weapons, when you're grinding the really bad weapons, uh, your KD is gonna go down drastically. So like people ask like, oh, what's your KD? And you tell them like a 1 KD, a 1.0, or a point 0.8 KD. But then you try and explain to them, hey, I'm grinding, attack rifles right now, or I'm grinding shotguns, or I'm grinding, the shield or rocket launchers. They think you're lying, but it's kind of where we're at now, where um, if you're grinding like a certain weapon or attack rifles, it's going to be tougher for sure, unless you just want the most OP weapon and you don't care about grinding. Then it might get a little bit boring. But at the same time, like I said, it's kind of exciting and a double-edged sword, that when you start grinding some of these weapons to unlock Dark Ether, it's going to be tougher for sure. And when you're getting up to around 15, 20, or even after 10, it can start getting very difficult and stuff like that. So that's one thing you got to be careful with. So those are the first two things that came to mind. Was I love the way they did the Easter egg, that now it's kind of like Warzone. We're waiting to see who the new operator is that's going to join us. The second thing, like I said, is it kind of reminds me of Spec Ops, again, from the old Modern Warfare games, and even Modern Warfare 2019. And the last thing I guess I want to talk about is, I guess the book, I forget what it's called, the Book of Aura? I forget what it's called, but the new book, you can upgrade your field upgrade to 5 different levels. Um, so it's tricky because you can either stay in Stalingrad and upgrade, get everything upgraded, but by the time you decide to go to Shinonuma, and that's the other thing I want to talk about, is Shinonuma is obviously right there in the void. You can go there and grind around, but it goes really fast, really quickly. I mean, it gets really tough really quickly. So that's the other thing too. It's kind of like that. I thought was really cool, and I hope like the devs talk about it more, or Treyarch. Or like, hey, you can stay in Stalingrad and take it kind of like the easy route, or they should probably have maybe marketed that a little bit better, or a little bit more. Is like, hey, you can take the easy route, or you can take the difficult route and go Shinonuma, because once you're in Stalingrad, you get a lot of hearts. You get more hearts, and it's easier. Um, but if you do that route and you save up your hearts and use them and upgrade all your equipment, by the time you decide to go to Shinonuma, you're going to Shinonuma in like round 20 about, or maybe 15, and it's going to be difficult. You're only going to be able to survive there for not that much longer. Even though you're going to be fully equipped, you're going to go there fully equipped when it's more difficult, so it's going to balance out. So that itself is a good balance, because, like I said, you can stay in Stalingrad, upgrade all your stuff, but by the time you decide to go to Shinonuma, it's going to be pretty difficult when you go to Shinonuma. Last thing, I did solos yesterday, so tomorrow or later today I'm going to do public lobbies and see what it's like, what people are liking. And the last thing also is, I kind of like that they have Shinonuma there as the void, so I wonder if they're going to do like a LTM style thing, where maybe season 2 Reloaded, instead of having you travel to Shinonuma, they're gonna swap it out with a new classic map and stuff like that. And that's the other thing too I want to just touch on. Is funny that people are asking for um, Zombies Chronicles 2, but then the people are also complaining, or those same people are complaining about Shinonuma. So it's like, do you either want a Zombie Chronicles 2 or you don't want a Zombie Chronicles 2? And that goes back to what I said before about people just blowing a lot of hot air, just looking for clicks and views. No matter what Treyarch does or Call of Duty, they're just going to complain uh, about the opposite thing. It's like they give them Zombie Chronicles 2 maps or Zombies Chronicles like classic maps, and then they're gonna complain about those maps. Or if they don't give it to them, then they complain that we don't have the maps. So it's kind of cool, like I said, to see Shinonuma to be able to stay there. I wonder though, like I said, also is if they're gonna swap it out, maybe do it like an LTM style where instead of Shinonuma, next time it's gonna be like Verrucht or something else like that, or Shangri-La, or I don't know what other classic map might fit Vanguard. But it's gonna be kind of cool to see if they do that, where they're introducing a new classic map every season, or every season reloaded would be kind of cool. So anyways, so that's pretty much where I'm going to leave it at. Just kind of want to go over our first couple initial thoughts. I don't want to drag it on. And again, I don't want to make it too negative and toxic and talk about zombie YouTubers, but I think maybe I'll do that separately and see or talk about what I've seen on Twitter and YouTube, and my thoughts on everyone else's thoughts or everyone else's reaction. So anyways, I'll see you guys later. Thanks.